I hated cooking as a child, through primary, through high school, got into campus, and sasa ndio nikaanza kuona nikikosa kujua kupika nitakufa njaa. Na post kwa stories, mtu anakuuliza patie recipe. I send them, patie recipe. Then I'm wondering, I'm typing too much. Say just start shooting for you guys. You have a universal point of reference. My first video, terrible lighting, in 7 minutes, alafu it just has music slapped onto it. Very little production value. But then now you come to learn, like, people optimizing formats, people are using vituka ASMR, like you're hearing kitungui katu unasikia
chewing.
I felt sick. Na nikajiuliza enyewe, I've been so consistent. I've been posting week in, week out. Now I can't post chakula hospitali, but guys want to see content. Then nikaona, acha nishikanishe hizi video. I do like what I ate in a week style video.
Monday, Tuesday.
That one.
Jeremy, because of the content you create, because of what you do, this happened. And it's just a very transformative story that you can remember.
My favorite stories.
Yeah.
Exclusively on Beyond the Brand podcast.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Awesome. Great.
Yes.
Welcome to Beyond the Brand, Moments That Made Us with me, Hannah G. This is that space where I meet and have conversations with amazing humans doing great things in this country and beyond. These are people who are building brands that are so admirable. In this space, we talk about how good their brands are, we celebrate their wins, but we don't stop there. We also go beneath the iceberg and we ask them, how did you build? How are you building? We talk about challenges. We talk about strategic moments. We talk about those early mornings. We get deep. We get really, really deep. And on this show today, I am having tea and conversations with the amazing Jeremy Wanyoez, aka Wanyoez. And he'll tell us where that comes from. He is a content creator, and I want to get deep into this conversation with him. Jeremy.
Yes.
How are you doing?
Niko salama kabisa.
Niko salama kabisa?
Yes.
Before we start,
yes.
Pour you some tea?
Of course, definitely.
Oh, fantastic. Good. As I do this,
yes.
I said content creator because I wanted you to tell us more. Mm-hmm. How else could I have introduced you?
I'm a lot of things. I don't want to get into the whole corny, I'm a dad, I'm a father, I'm a husband, but okay, I'm all those things. But content creator, I think, is the most appropriate for the season I'm in right now. I have been making content for the past 4 years. So content creator is accurate. Yes.
We can go with that.
Yes.
Then you take something very universal, like food.
Yes.
And you mix it with art. You build a community around it. You build a brand around it. Talk to me about that magic.
So the food story, I don't know if I'm allowed to, but maybe I will begin from the very start. So for me, unlike a lot of, say, food content creators, I didn't start with as a child. They say, when I was a child, I used to cook. I hated cooking as a child, which means there's hope for you if you're watching this and you hate cooking. I hated cooking as a child, through primary, through high school, got into campus, and sasa ndio nikaanza kuona nikikosa kujua kupika nitakufa njaa. It was tough. So eventually I just started picking up a few skills hapa na pale. Then I realized, this is something I can actually enjoy. Nimekuwa nikijinyima kitu na enjoy, like something I would actually be passionate about. And so eventually I finished campus, bado napika hapa na pale. When I host people, they're like, wow, send me the recipe. Then I start posting photos of my food on, that time I think we had started getting Instagram stories. So una post kwa stories, mtu anakuuliza, patie recipe. I send them, patie recipe. Then I'm wondering, I'm typing too much. Say just start shooting for you guys. You have a universal point of reference. This time, I don't know, like, people actually create food content. I wasn't like looking at people and be like, mazina izataka kwa kau boy ama udem. I just want an easier way to express what I'm cooking without having to send people 50 DMs. So I start pole. Of course, when you start, you're like sending links to all your friends. You're like, hey manze ni aje, I've just posted a new video, check it out. Then kidogo now is when, of course, since of course algorithms, you start seeing people are actually doing this. People have been doing this. This has been something that has been happening. And so now you start interacting with these people, you start interacting with an audience. Then at this time, I'm still just cooking ile tu kupika. You know, there's no set, hakuna ati lights. Pole, I get to a point now where the audience has grown. Hadina shanga sasa, now what next? And I think that's now where the idea for Plate Shakers began. It was just, I think the first time when I was communicating this with the person that helped me plan the event, it was getting people from their phone to come and experience what it is like for me to cook with them. So that's the story for Plate Shakers. The community that now I have as Jeremy, that people who enjoy food, people enjoy, well, sometimes humor as well, but sana chakula.
And it becomes a trend. Plate shaking becomes a trend. You build a community, it goes viral. And I brought my plate because we're going to shake.
We have to.
So what's this about? Where are we shaking plates?
It's the law.
Where are we shaking plates? Is it my hand that's shaking or is it the plate?
So it's a technique. Your hand has to be under. Chini ya sahani hivi.
I see.
And then now you just wiggle your palm. Unaona ukujua isongi.
Palm.
Alafu hiyo ukumbuke biscuit ayanguki.
Ayanguki.
It was.
But why are we shaking?
It was one of those happy coincidences.
And are we shaking cookies and pizza and everything? What are we shaking? Is any kind of food?
Any githeri, omena, pizza, tigisa, bora ni edible. Na bora ni utakula. Don't shake other people's.
Okay. You're shaking and eating.
Yes, you're shaking and eating. So the idea for plate shaking, I honestly don't have a deep story. Unfortunately, it was one of those things where when you're trying to figure out content formats, because it got to a point now where once you attain a certain level of success, there's something that you've been doing for fun for a few months or a few years. You don't start the research phase. Sasa unaanza kujiuliza, how can I optimize my video? Like my first video, terrible lighting. The video itself was over 7 minutes long. This was right at the cusp of like reels. So ilikuwa ni 7 minutes, alafu it just has music slapped onto it. Like there's no very little production value. But then now you come to learn like people optimizing formats, people are using vitu kama ASMR, you know, like you're hearing kitungui kato unasikia
chewing.
Or like say for example, one of the biggest examples that I think everyone can understand is Ombachi with this whole done thing, or the whole quick cutting. So stuff like that. So you realize, okay, I have to present my videos in a certain way. It's not enough that I'm teaching you how to do some of these things. I also have to figure out how do I make it as entertaining and as consumable as possible. And so the shaking was part of my format to introduce the dish. So I'm trying to remember that tagline. When I started doing that research, I was like, I'd start using the phrase, and the phrase was, today we are blessing your kitchens with this, and so I'm showing you what we are blessing your kitchens with. But that was like very happenstance. It wasn't that sasa nikitingiza hivi ndio nitaenda viral. Ndio itanitoa a blog. No.
It wasn't planned.
Yeah. So it used to be an introduction. So now the time that it ended up picking steam was this week that I felt sick. Na nikajiuliza enyewe, if I've been so consistent, I've been posting week in, week out. Now I can't post chakula hospitali because I'm in the hospital. But guys want to see content. Then nikaona, acha nishikanishe hizi video. I do like what I ate in a week style video. And then I'd seen a Nigerian creator. If you know the song I use, it's a Nigerian song. Monday, Tuesday, that one. So I'd seen a Nigerian creator do an outfit of the week video with that. So I was like, so I can do this with my food. Now the problem is that song is so long. That song is 16 minutes long.
Yeah. Oh.
That's like the Nigerian party Bukuku. That song is lengthy. Quit after Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So I'm like scrolling through pigeon. Alafu ndo nikafika hapo, nikasema haya sawa, ndio that's the clip you are using. And from there, I don't know if those videos just flew. I think it's also the ease of consumption. Yeah. The fact that you can just watch and have an opinion about it, because it doesn't need as much technique as cooking. I feel like that's it. Like, because there are times, of course, some of those videos have food from not in my kitchen. See me pika. The video is what I ate in a week, is what I cooked this week. Uh-huh. So there's like two brands there. There was even one I think KFC commented, because we had traveled and I wanted to get something at KFC. And so kuna KFC hapo na KFC wako, wow, hey, you started the week off well, because I ate KFC on Monday.
Yeah.
And so you learn that some of these things, something born out of inconvenience, can influence your brand to an extent where it goes ahead of you. Siku hizi hata nikienda town, someone will tap you, a total stranger. Unajua mimi nadhani ni mwizi.
Yeah.
So I'm like, peace. Hey, Jerry. Leo unapika nini? Hey, wewe ni nani? Wewe ni nani bana? But you have to learn that you've actually put that nini out there. There's that brand you've portrayed out there, that you're someone that enjoys food culture, cooking, eating, all those things. And so when people see you, that's what they're able to relate to you on that level.
Yeah.
So that's where the original plate shaking itself as an idea, ilianza. Then now I realized I am doing this distinct action of shaking a plate. Someone even shared a video with me the other day of like another Kenyan food creator who had started using the same song. Uh-huh. Not really shaking. Uh-huh.
But kidogo, there's a movement.
And for me, in my opinion at least, he wasn't being malicious, because it's someone who like we've talked with. Si mtu ati anajipanga ati hey, huyu mjamanta I'll copy him, I'll steal everything from him. So it's like, I inspired him to like start documenting his food. That's a great thing for me. Of course, I've built the patent, what I'd call the patent I have is the community I've built around the activity. But I wouldn't say now that no one else in Kenya can shake a plate other than me. If you're not shaking a plate in my presence, it is not valid.
Yeah.
It's not, I don't think of it that way. And I also think there's this phrase I've heard a lot. And it's, copying it's actually a proverb. Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. Like if people are copying, it means you're doing something right. Yeah. Because there's a certain sort of success attached to what you're doing. That they're saying, hey, Hannah G has this podcast and it's thriving, eh? So we start one, we call it after the brand. Yeah.
You know what you just said is very profound. And seriously, just speak to somebody who's a creative, because I think we live in a world where everybody is just copying everybody else. And sometimes you're taking it you're happy about it. You're saying imitation is the best form of flattery. Yeah. But another person is going to be thinking, why are you copying me? I started it. And so what are you telling that person who's a creative and people are just copying them?
I think you can take comfort in several things. The very first thing you can take comfort in is no one will copy you one for one. Like there are certain things and there are certain times, even when you are doing, even within the content space, right? You can look at if someone has, say for example, shot a recipe a chapati, mwingine akacopy your recipe exact. They can't copy the location, they can't copy the lighting, they can't copy. And sometimes you find that people don't even gravitate towards you because ntaiputaje bila kusound weird. People don't gravitate towards you because you're very excellent at what you do. But it's your quirks and your features. Like what else makes you interesting? Because I mean, how many people can make chapos in Kenya? So again, look at it from that angle. What makes you unique? And I think that is what should empower you to to actually be flattered by people copying you. Because kitambo used to be so annoyed. By the way, I was that creator. I used to be so annoyed. People would send me stuff and I'm wondering, sasa huyu. Someone even stole one of my jokes. Nashanga hadi joke. Hadi joke. Si ufikiria tu joke.
Yako.
Si
Karibu, they even start saying they grew up where you grew up. They forget, they can copy until they forget you talked about something that they didn't.
Sasa zaliwa sio kimao, wewe pia umezaliwa sio kimao all of a sudden. Wewe. So, I think take heart in just be flattered by that. But then again, also, there's certain stuff like, there's also copyright laws again. Yeah. It's not also that now you're giving them a pass for everything. At sasa, now go copy everywhere, flatter people. No. There's boundaries. And so to that creator, I'd also tell them, if your idea is something patentable, figure it out. Try to patent the actual IP. But if someone like copies, for example, there was a time, I don't know if you guys are on Food Talk, but there was a time there was beef between like two big creators about stealing recipes. And the beef was, it was too exact. Like, unajua kuna ile, unaangalia unasema, like say for example, maybe you make pancakes with milk powder and I use milk ya kawaida. Sasa huwa milk powder ndio anaangalia recipe ya wenyewe anasema, hizi measurement zote ni zangu, hivi vile zinafuatana hivi ni zangu. Uko sure sio mimi juu mimi recipe mimi ndio nimeitengeneza. Mimi ndio najua nafaa kuongeza this much. It was a big it caused such a big problem. Now those allow the gray areas, those are not like the maybe you should patent this one. But I feel like for most of the time there's this other phrase and it's from a YouTuber. Alisema, if your video is good and it's original, it won't be used for too long. So I feel like also the other thing, if you know Mr. Beast?
Yes.
Now on YouTube, there's something called the Mr. Beastification of YouTube. Everyone is now copying his format because it's so successful.
Yeah.
Such that, and his format is very eclectic. Like he throws Lamborghinis into grinders.
Yeah.
He like buys islands. So now you have like 80 people buying islands. You're wondering, how many islands are there? But it's because his content moves the needle in such a way that
I see.
Everyone is like, hey man, I want to be like this guy. And to be like this guy, I need to invest this and this and this much into my production value. And I need to post this frequently. Because he has set such a precedent that everyone will just, and I don't think anakaanga chini mali anaanza kuzusha. Man, tumgina amenikopi leo bana. I'm so mad. He just keeps going because, again, you also get first mover privilege.
Yeah.
Like
100%.
If you're the first one to do it and you did it well, you already have the experience for what did I do to do it well. You already, if you did something and it went viral, you are there when it all happened.
It's a blueprint.
Yes, you already have the blueprint. Other people have to look from the outside, looking in and be like, we can try copy, lakini hatujui like how long he might have taken to do this or what tools he might have used or nini. So again, let first mover, what I'm saying is, number one, be encouraged when people copy you. It means you're doing something right. And of course, weaponize your first mover advantage. So the fact that you did it and it was successful means that you have the tools at your disposal to create another one and another one and another one and to improve and iterate. So even now when they're not trying to copy your last week, this week, and you're moving forward and you're improving.
And I think, I like that. And I think when I look at you, I think the unique thing you have about you is that you're a creative.
Yes.
Yeah, because you didn't start with food. You started with being a designer.
Yes.
By the way, take me through that. What made you...
That is still my bread and butter.
That
guys,
is still
hire me.
Then tell me about it.
Hire me?
Yeah.
Oh, shameless plug. Anyway, so visual design.
Yeah.
I've been a visual designer. Content, we've been making it for 4 years. Visual design has been an 11-year journey. 11. Tangu campus. Sasa campus, nilianza na creative design. I remember this so vividly because it's like, the first time you touch money that's yours.
Yeah.
Haujaomba mzazi, haujaomba beshte yako. ni pesa yako. I worked for this one, no one can come and design. I started in campus, and this one was also another thing for happenstance. It was, I just enjoyed playing around in PowerPoint. So PowerPoint, hadi high school nikafanya computer science, and nikamaliza. I was like, I don't know what I want to be. So I went to campus, I took a course called LMC. LMC is Linguistics, Media and Communication. Comms. So my initial goal, very first goal, because I used to have, I still do have a great command of English, was to be a journalist. So I was even like head of press club. I used to, ndio naenda mafanki zote. Nimetumia kuenda mafanki zenye I have no part of, because in high school I was very unfit. So I'm just going to all the sports events because I'm Mr. Press Club. Niko to, this is living. I'm going to all the events. Because nitaenda hiyo, next week niende ya drama. Yeah. Next week I'm just gallivanting every weekend. So I'm telling myself I'm gonna become a journalist. Nitasoma taarifa. Jeremy Wanyoez nikiripotia TV. I thought that was gonna be me.
This sounds good.
So I get to campus.
Yeah.
I get to campus and there's, what should I call it? Like my social life suffered because I was uprooted from Nairobi. All my life I've been in Nairobi. Nimesomea primo Nairobi, high school Nairobi. Ngolewa hivi nikarushwa Eldoret kusomea Moi. Moi, I know no one. These are all new people to me. So I'm wondering, what do I now do with all this free time I have? So I start like learning, touching up things on, this time was the time I was trying to make the shift from PowerPoint to Photoshop, because one of my brothers told me like, I'm supposed to get with industry standards. So naanza kucheza nayo, nini. Then kidogo, of course you start making to friends here and there of public interest or shared interest, yani. You start going to these two clubs, the clubs for campus. And the clubs unapata, si club ya Dunda, I'm a Christian man. Club ya Izima club.
A business club.
Yes.
Rotary.
Environmental hizo club.
Yeah.
Hizo ndio club naongelea. And so you make friends huku na kule nini. Then one day someone asks me, now kwani unashindanga na laptop ya nani? Because that time I didn't have a laptop. So I used to ask for a friend, from a friend of ours, a shared friend. Akaniuliza, unashindanga leo laptop unafanya nini? Unangi series unangi. Kamuonyesha kazi kitu nilikuwa nimefanya. They was taken aback kidogo. Wow, unajua kufanya hizi vitu. Sinipatie kazi nikulipe so. I was so excited because man, 100 bob of my own money. In campus like unaweza shiba na 70 bob. At least that time, I don't know if inflation has ruined things for you guys. I'm so sorry. But 70 bob was enough food, So, Mia, leta kazi, fanya. And so that was the first time I was like, hey man, money is sweet, My own money. So that's how I got into design. And then slowly, of course, integrating. Now word spreads fast around hizi clubs. Juana uliza, nani ilifanya hii? Ni Jerry.
And he's what? Poster? Okay.
Posters. Yeah. This time is posters.
Yeah.
So I do posters for a while. I get introduced to a certain event in Nairobi. It's no longer there. But this event was what really built my capacities in terms of creative thinking. Because mwenye event alikuwa na a lot of out of the box ideas. Unajua wale watu wanakuanga wamefunguka almost to know your detriment, because you have to be the one executing the idea. Unaangalia post huko, guy, mimi ndio nafaa hii post inafaa ifanane na kazi nafaa kutoa. So you are deep in research my technique nini. Then now after that event now opened me up to artists. Sasa by the way, I think hakuna msanii wa the two uko ma 2010 sijawaka na yeye. Sana wa gospel. Secular kuna wenye naweza kosa. Kuna wenye sijafanya na. But that's not what opened my capacities to those sort of people. Because now, of course, the whole thing for creative ideas. Like you present something to someone with an idea that they might have not thought of. and so wanaangalia wanasema wa.
What are you designing for them?
Sana posters za ngoma. So album release art.
Okay.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like I think also word spread fast in those circles. I feel like I've been a beneficiary of word of mouth sana. That's like my favorite thing. Word of mouth.
Yeah.
Because everyone is talking about you, unatafutwa, There was even a time I was so surprised. Like I sat down and just did the math for all the clients I had. Na nilikuwa najiuliza poster ndio inanilipia hizi bills zote. And it's just poster. But then now, of course, with time, you again graduate. Because now the people you used to work with, unapata kuna moja ameingia corporate mahali. So now you also now have to up your skill set. Because now I didn't have any formal training ya design. Like I started it jokes to campus, kutafuta 100, 200. Then now you are being told to design an 80-page report. You are actually, how do I even draw a graph in this application? Sasa hizi ni nini naambiwa? But then now you just build your capacities. Now to the point where, for me at least, design is now my primary bread and butter.
Right then, now? Like yes. That's what you do, and then now food content creation.
For me, uko ndio primary uko. But then again, it's also because, with content, unless you own the monetization model in terms of either being on YouTube or doing Patreon, all those things that now bring you money direct without having to look for brands, it feels a bit finicky sometimes. Especially, and for me, I even have like a calendar.
Yeah.
I know November, December, very busy because you have Black November, yeah. Black Friday and November, yeah. And you have Christmas and New Year's. January hits like this. So usually that's the time I set aside now to strategize for the year. Because I know January, pesa ya content pengine ni kule tu ya nini, back to school. Like you're even aware of the sort of campaigns that come to you because you are like, hey, hapa hii itakuwa tu, hii time ni ya hii kitu. Na hii time ni ya hii kitu. But for me, design, the nini is always there. The
but
work is always
why
there.
then not start creating content around design? Why then food instead of just continuing with that and create content around it?
Design is work. I feel like design is labor. I don't know how to put it. Design is labor. For food, even in January, when you're not shooting content for brands, I can still do food content for fun. Like even, say for example, God forbid, but in the example, God please, don't listen to this and think I'm being serious. But say if brands stopped working with me,
yeah,
because people say power of the tongue.
True.
So I have to confirm with God first before things get out of hand. But if, say for example, next year, there's 0 brands that work with Wanyoez. God, I already show 0 brands, January to December, I'll still cook. And I'll still express it. Like I'll still do stuff around food. I'll still enjoy it. But I feel like design, there's so much. I love P&Ds. Because right now, there's 4 agencies I'm working with. I can share none of their work until that work is complete and it is flagged. So you find, if I'm going to do design content,
I'll
have to do a lot of...
breaching.
Yes, I'll be breaching. There's this, I don't know if you've heard of the story of that girl who got fired on TikTok for showing guys, like, sasa mi naingia huku, I work for you, and I start showing people like Syria. But then mnajua tuko wapi? Sai tuko hapa Kitusuru. Hawako Kitusuru guys, hiyo ni example. Sianze kuwatafuta Kitusuru. But you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Niko hapa Kitusuru. Hata tuko hapa gate B. Mnaona? Ndio hata pesa tunaweka hapa. So you're like, hey, you're being a security threat.
Yeah, I see that.
So for me, and then that. Design is so serious. My design inaweza wabu because it's so serious. It's like layout. So this is how I lay out my reports for this client.
Shaking my layout.
Shake like a laptop.
Shake like a laptop.
But you see, for food I'm able to express a lot more because there's not as much, hakuna barriers mingi kama design. Design is also working for people. For food, I'm cooking for myself first. Even when I'm working with brands, I have to cook and eat myself.
Yeah.
But also for design, unless now, because I also, even for design, I've followed a few design creators, and usually what they do is all their social media content is, my English is failing me.
Twende Kiswahili, tuweke sheng huko ndani, tuongee Kiingereza, everything.
What they do is they create case studies. This is not a real client. So, and especially now with AI, like you just open to AI and you say, tengeneze case study ya, tuseme kampuni ya, a company like Safaricom, but you don't call it, you don't say Safaricom. So a company kama hiyo, a large telco with this much reach, and give me the brief. And then now they shoot content according to that brief. So what they do is they are showcasing their creative process. Because I think, again, most clients look at, if I tell you what to do, can you express enough creative freedom to come up with something beautiful with my guidance? That's usually the biggest concern with design clients. Of course, my brand color, like for example, the brand color ni gold and a black. But can you execute this in a way that looks great? So that's usually their biggest concern. And so that's usually what they do. But I think it's actually a great idea. Hata nilikuwa nimeanza. Nakwambia mambo ni mingi. I'd started. The thing was, being consistent on that side and this food side. And alafu ujue sasa pia, the other thing is also following the money in terms of kwa food, pesa iko kwa brands, working with brands. But huku design, even if I don't post for 10 months, 11 months, a year, 2 years, I still have return clients that already know like how I work. Your word of mouth, I think, ilini spoil side ya design sana. Just sasa, guys, I still get references without posting work. But kwa food, especially if you're very algorithm dependent, like there was this time, I remember, was it in 2022? I went on a 2-month break. Nisema, man, me, I'm tired. I'm burnt out. Nikadeleted Instagram kwa simu, nikadelete TikTok, nikadeleted YouTube. Kurudi ilikuwa mlima inakaa hivi. Unapost kitu unapata 8 likes. Shanga, I have 30,000 followers. Why are 8 people liking this post?
So the minute you left, they forgot.
Yes, because...
but how do you balance that?
Your story are top of mind.
Creativity, consistency, the work, the what?
It's hard work, guys. It's hard. That's why people will copy you.
It's hard
so
work.
hard. I think for me, one thing that helps me a lot is setting up. First, you set up systems, but then you also don't make everything too serious. So you have a system where like what I was telling you about, I had a system for every week, kuna kitu ina go up. Every week. That was I didn't post that, new videos every week. I didn't tell anyone. Hata mnasikia for the first time. Exclusively on Beyond the Brand podcast. With
yes.
So I set those hard boundaries. But then, if I skip a week, nika gym tu. Gym utanona na kuskip wiki moja. Utanona na kuskip wiki kadhaa. So just make sure you don't skip wiki kadhaa. Skip wiki moja na unarudi. Unapumzika unarudi. And then also, there's the thing for when I feel like, because again with creativity, there's hills and valleys. Yeah. There's seasons where you're like, man, I swear I can shoot 8 podcasts today. Bring the guests. Walete. Valentine pigia guest. Waleta wote. But then there are weeks you're like, I can't even get out of bed, man. What the hell? So what I do is, I weaponize your time. Nasikia poa. Nataka kupika. I cook. Hata kaa ni kuedit. Kaa kuedit ndio itanisumbua. At least I've shot. Because for me, I still shoot a lot of my stuff myself. Which again is inconvenient, but it is what it is. But your time, when you shoot a lot, you have, unaweza hata edit ya kwa matatu. Like unaweka tu earphones, unafungua CapCut na you just start working on your edit. Doesn't matter if someone will look at what you're doing. But those weaponizing those heels for the times that you don't feel like, because again, remember, I still have the 9 to 5. It's not like nimefutwa kazi. Niko na kazi, bado niko na bibi, niko na watoto, niko na majukumu mingi.
Yeah.
So it's that knowing how to use your really creative moments.
Yeah.
And like doing a lot within that time, so that for the time ujisikie kufanyia kazi, you can at least settle down. And when you need help, like for me, when I've needed help, it's great to also ask for help. By help, I mean, for example, I have several friends that now shoot and edit content. Of course, within the content world, you make friends within the industry. And so there's certain people that can help me out when I need like a video. Kasa sasa client akinipigia, tuseme ni video client, akinipigia anasema anataka video kesho. You just call for help. Because again, certain things are best done with several people. Which reminds me of my podcast story. Guys, I used to have a podcast. Hey.
Was it about food?
Hey. So I used to, before, right in between actually, just before I started doing food content, I used to have a podcast with my friend. But it has been scrubbed off the internet. I made sure. Because it was very shameful, the things we said on that podcast. That time when you want to like be controversial and you're to trend. And I think we used to do it with my friend. And I think the one thing that season taught me the most was, successful things of that size, stature, need a lot more people than just 2 people.
Yeah. And I think what you're saying is profound.
Like you can grow to a point where you actually need to call for help. It's never easy kuwa Rambo your whole life. You can't just, and even in brand building, like we'll probably talk about the event. But when you're building a brand, there's certain facets of your brand that you probably need someone that's either ahead of you, or knows what they are doing, or someone, even if it's not someone that's at the head of you, a professional in that field. Like now, when you're talking about the Plate Shakers event, I couldn't have planned an entire event by myself.
You can't.
I wouldn't know where to start.
Yeah.
It's my first event. Kutafuta hata venue itanisumbua. Mimi nimepika kwa nyumba yangu my whole life.
Yeah. And by the way, and I think that's something a lot of people don't understand, especially people who are very new into business.
Yeah.
And like, I don't have a problem if somebody wants to start a one-man show. But yes, I agree that even with a one-man show, at some point you need help.
Yeah.
But how do you choose the people to help you? Is there strategy? Is there planning?
Because for me, most of the people, like for the event, most of the people that helped me were people who were already in my circle. So I'm not, again, it's also a bit risky to like pull someone in, because that place, there's ni nyuma ya 10. It's very, there's certain things you need.
Vulnerable moments.
Yeah, it's very, yes, that's the word, vulnerable. It's very vulnerable.
Yeah.
And so, for me, I think I'm lucky in like the circles I'm in. I think that's actually what even informed me to go for the event. Because I was like, if God has brought all of these people into my life, it can't be happenstance that bado ameka watu wote na bado nataka nifanye event. Lazima ikue ameplan watu wako in my life ndio tufanye event. Like for me, I'd say, of course, I'm one event planner. Then people who need the event, what's it called? They make the event experiential. So you're talking your DJ, you're talking about an MC, you're talking about people that just make the event happen. But even within the concept of branding it, again, kuna ma posters, kuna nini, that was all me. At least, but itabidi umetafuta mtu. But all those people, I realized, kumbe I have all these people in my circle now. Let me go with it. But I think the biggest green flag is, of course, competence. these people don't work with my friends, so pia nile kujua unasikia story yake kwa huyu mtu anakuambia anakuwa poa, lakini then you realize, because again no one's perfect, but then you have to ask yourself, is that lakini worth the compromise of me doing this work with them? Because there are certain compromises you're like, I don't talk with someone like that. What do you mean? But then there are people you're like, no, we'll manage with that one, or I'll handle that side, then they can do the rest. So it's that figuring out, number one, what are they good at and what they are bad at. Are you willing enough to compromise? Ama itakuharibia maneno. Because certain compromises certain compromises are more expensive than others. So you have to figure it out. Unajiuliza, aki sasa, if you work with them and they lose this much, how am I planning on recovering? Is it worth paying them even?
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. I think that's very important. And your brand, especially this thing you do with the cooking, seems like it's a lot of fun. It's effortless. Is there? I know.
I thank you that it looks effortless. That is very reaffirming. I, however, want to categorically state that it is labor. But because it's like a balance. I wouldn't want to talk in extremes. Because again, certain, like kuna vitu, like you see let's pick a hard job, say mining, chimba. Mining is hard labor. You need, like, no one says, I'm a what's the word? I'm a hobbyist miner. No one says I'm a hobbyist miner. But there are certain jobs that you're like, you look like, no, like say a DJ. A DJ, of course, there's work to it. You have to do the research, the playlists. You have to figure out how you'll creatively integrate certain elements. You have to figure out some things. But there's also the fun part of it.
Yeah.
Like, you play stuff because you're enjoying the stuff you're playing. So I feel like cooking is like that. And cooking and shooting. Cooking and creating content around food. Because I realize I'm not only into cooking, I really enjoy food culture. Like, mimi ni wale watu I'll sit down, like hata ukiingia YouTube yangu, it's just like, I tried eating in 24 hours of eating in India. So I want to learn, how are Indians cooking? 24 hours you eating this place, that place. So even the how different cultures interact with food is something of great interest to me. And so I'm glad that it looks effortless. Of course, there's effort to it. The greatest effort, I think, is research. Especially if you want to position yourself as someone who knows what they're doing. Because again, within the content space, there's so many places you can plug in. There's people who cook as lifestyle creators. They are not giving you advice. They're not telling you this is how you do things. They're just telling you, hi, I'm Hannah. Today I'm making tacos. I will not give you a recipe. I will not tell you I get my ingredients. I will not tell you a thing. Just watch me cook. And say, yummy, wow, I want a plate, yummy, that looks delicious. That's it. Then now there are people who have now like, kana kumbuka kuna time nilitengeneza bajia. Nikasomwa na watu wa Mombasa. Hizo ni viazi karai dogo. Au hizo matuziona kwa mbaya, hata sisi sema hapa. Family friendly.
Walikuambia si bajia.
Nashanga, Abdul, tulia. But it's again goes back to your story of food culture. But you see, they expect me as someone who does food content almost exclusively to like know my stuff. So I have to go research. So I realized what I'd made was marubajia. Marubajia ni bajia za waru za Wahindi.
Aha.
Zikikuja Kenya, zinaitwa viazi karai. So it is by location that I am wrong.
Aha.
Not by diction.
Yes.
But yes, it's one of those fun and still laborious things. It's people like, kuna mtu atakuja hapa aseme, man, content ni ngumu manze. I spent all night strategizing on this new campaign. For me, I still like to involve fun in it because I already have a serious job, guys. Come on. Niko huko kazi huko na kumbana na ma client huko. Wanaambia make the logo bigger. Certainly I can't make this job serious as well. One has to be an outlet. I'm already there fighting for my life. And that's why I told you, for me, I view content first as a creative outlet and then now a job.
Yeah.
Because content enables me to express myself. Of course, within the bounds of, there are certain things I can never say within content.
Yeah.
You know, like those opinions, you're like, you say the running. So there's those ones.
Yeah.
But for me, it's a creative outlet that encourage people to look at. If you want to start content, I encourage you to look at it that way first. Never begin content with the idea of, man, natafuta pesa. Sinianze kupika kama Wanyoez, nitapata pesa kama Wanyoez. Mimi kwanza hata ujui natengeneza how much kwa design. Ushaanza kuassume pesa yangu yote ya kupika.
Yeah, kupika. Yeah, and I actually want to get into that.
Yeah.
I want to get into that. But what's that? Do you remember one very hard moment or difficult and you said, let me go back. I don't want to cook. I don't want to do this content. Is there something you can share?
This one is for, I think my audience will know which video this was. But there was a Valentine campaign we had. And we were in one of those like 4-month engagements. You know, like ile brand na kutafuta for 4 months or kuambia. So you'll be doing this much for 4 months. Nini. So we've agreed on everything. And then on 12th, the jioni, I remember because Nini was a Sunday. That means that was Friday jioni. Valentine's was on Sunday. Friday jioni, I get a text from brand manager. Ananiambia, so Jere, tunataka utufanye video ya Valentine. Video ya Valentine. Saa ngapi? Valentine's is on Sunday. Sema, si unaweza shoot kesho?
Kushoot tu?
Kushoot tu. Then, we had, so if, I think for people who are aspiring creators, probably a bit of, for one about how engagements, these brands work. You usually send a list of stuff you're going to try. Like now in the food space, you send like your recipes and you tell them, these are the recipes tutapika, please approve. Like now if you work with, say, ukiwork na brand ya ugali, ya unga, ya ugali ya mhindi, si ya mhindi, ya muislamu, wezi pika pork na ya ugali na weke na brand yake, una get. So you have to like streamline and make sure, yes, and it also like removes conflict of, if I'm making pancakes and you're making pancakes and you're on the same campaign, there's redundancy. So that's usually do that. And so I'd been a bit ambitious and I'd written a recipe that, a meal item that I'd never made in my life. This is going to be my first time making this meal. Saturday morning. Nakumbuka hadi nikiambia bibi yangu, siti, kesho ni kumoto. Because we'll have to wake up, of course, go buy ingredients. Because I hadn't planned for this. So it's like I'm going to get ingredients, cook the first batch, cook and shoot. Unajua tu na shoot ile on the off chance. Inaweza ikitokea poa, at least my work is done. So that Saturday, we go, tunanunua vitu, vizuri tu, tunarudi kwa nyumba. One of those ingredients was so expensive. It still hurts me to this day. And then we do the first shoot. Sasa makosa, nilieka moto mingi. Batch ya kwanza, zimeshura.
Makosa ikafanyika?
Makosa ikafanyika.
Valentine ni kesho?
Valentine ni kesho. I'm getting calls. Jerry, nitumie video to approve. What's the hold up? My brother in Christ. Chakula imeungua. Inanuka moshi.
What were you making?
You know, I finished. So we had to go back.
Wow.
Buy more ingredients.
Of course.
Alafu sasa ujue umejiforce. Sasa unatoto tumeungua ukikula. Tunajiambia nayo mimi siwezi jistress, siwezi kaa njaa. So you're just scraping off. Aya, nikasema bas. Aya, tutashoot tena. went to bought ingredients. We had now learned our lesson.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be our test shoot.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be done earlier.
Yeah.
But we are doing it the same day we are doing the shoot.
Yeah.
I'd finished editing that video at 2 a.m. Sunday morning, Valentine's morning. Namtumia video namwambia, ndio hii lakini tomorrow next time usiniharakishe hivyo. I'm like, manze, bro, this is so dope, manze.
Oh, they liked it?
He liked it, man.
Wow.
Eventually, since I'd finished editing it at 2, waking up I woke up just to confirm he had seen it.
Yeah.
Then he post on that. Because, again, of course, unataka post on the morning of Valentine's. Like, you want to capture that. So, at around 8, akanitext akaniambia, hata sitaonyesha, because now the hierarchy is, you work with an agency. So, the agency is the one that communicates to the client.
Yeah.
Then now the client provides, asema, hata I'll fight your battle for you. I won't even send to client. We post. Hey. But you've woken up at 8. Niliamka, nikapost, nikaeka na caption na nikarudi kulala. I was so beat. Alafu tumbo ilikuwa tu imejaa hiyo chakula. Yani, you had eaten 2 rounds of that food. Paka tunasema, I won't even make this again. Not soon. Yani, it was such a stressful time. And that's why...
What dish was it?
Aki nikisema watajua yao. Akisema, nakwambia off camera.
Tutasema, tusiseme.
But that was the one time I was like, hapana, maybe this thing is not for me.
Yeah.
But then again, you look at the sort of money like they pay you for that work, and you're like, no, maybe it's not that bad.
Tena.
Maybe it's not that bad.
And by the way, even just building on that, how do you choose? Because you've worked with quite big brands. I think you've worked with Von. You've worked with Brookside, have you?
Yes.
Yeah, and many more. Tell me about it. But how do you choose, I'm going to work with this one and not this one?
Hey, guys, by the way, but sijafika kwa point ya choose in terms of with the big brands. No, I just want to be honest. Like, when I say sijafika point ya choose, what I mean is, there's never been a time, okay, actually, I think once, it happened once. But there's never been a time where I've been like, manze, tuseme nani na nani. I don't want to use actual real world examples what will make it make sense. Say Brookside na Ilara, brand za maziwa. Hakuna time washaikuwa like, hey Wanyoez, we like your content, you want to work with you, send us your rate card ya Ilara. Alafu watu Brookside pande ingine. So I've never been like choosing like that. I think also kuna kwaga pia na hii uoga. Sijui kama ni uoga. Smaller brands. Because I've met, sometimes you're like, we see campaigns and you're like, hiya, why don't they want to work with me? Yeah. They thought you are busy with. Hey, busy, who told them? Kumbe, nani alikwambia niko busy? You look sure. But I've never gotten to that point. And when that happens, it has happened, but see, Maramob, I usually give priority to the person that reached out first. Because my rate is the same regardless.
Yeah.
So, ka ultimate text leo, alafu brand ingine in a similar field and text kesho.
Yeah.
You leo ndio utachukua.
You know, Jeremy, now that you've said that, it's reminded me something as you stir your tea.
Yes.
When I was a bit younger, in my heydays.
Sasa hizi your heydays.
Ilipita kidogo. I used to actually do adverts. And I did adverts for like three big brands. Very good. Like I used to be a model for those things. Yeah. But then there's one that approached me. And after that, many more did. And I said no. And one approached me and it was good money, but it didn't go well with my core values. Because of, I don't do these things. So, but I'll even tell you that they approached me to talk about condoms. I know, like to say, but why? But condoms, I mean, people use.
No, condoms are great.
Yeah, it's for protection, isn't
it?
So they approached me not even to talk about condoms, but to say that if you want to have sex and you don't want to get pregnant, use this, right? But you see, for me at that time, I was, and I'm still big on, why are you having sex? if you're not married.
For marriage, yeah.
Okay. So for me, I thought I cannot work with this brand. I don't want to advertise for them because I am over here telling young people don't do this.
Have free marital
and then
sex.
over here, I'm posting that thing saying because I'm getting paid.
Yeah.
So for you, what values though? What's that brand that's a non-negotiable and you go like, me, I'm not touching that one.
Niwapatie example kubwa sana.
Sema, I want to hear that.
Kampuni yote ya betting, hata usitume hiyo email.
Yeah.
Betting. I think now I get your gist, where you're going. Yeah, I thought it was that brand.
Even that, even what you said was brilliant.
So,
yeah.
For me, betting, I don't believe in betting. Especially in my campus days, and unfortunately, I've seen so many guys lose. Unajua campus kwanza pesa ya help vile inakuwa tamu. Like unapata, you get that. I hear they renamed it. I don't know what it's called. Okay, my age is showing, guys. But for me, I've seen betting ruin so many lives to the point that I can't even see it. And the craziest thing, this is another industry secret, with betting gigs. Hannah, betting gigs will pay you top dollar just to have their logo here. They don't even tell you. And now for a break.
No.
Today we are sponsored by BetG. BetG gives you the best odds. I mean, they don't even make you do that. That's extra money. As long as their logo is just here. So even for them, like, there's one I like tried approaching from a point of I want to learn what goes on, but I won't take the job. Nile tu kutaka kujua ndio hata mtu akiniuliza, ameniambia hivi na hivi na hivi, niko
That's why.
So that's one of those things. Like they tell you to wear a shirt when you're cooking, shirt yao. They won't like tell you to interrupt your cooking, like you're chopping onions. Kama utaki kulia hivi nikikata vitunguu, weka pesa BetG. They won't tell you that. They won't make you do that. It's just wear our shirt or put our logo down there after the video. Stuff like that. But for me, niyo tu kuona watu wakiteseka. Yani mtu in campus I think twice people lost their lives. Walinini juu ya beti iliungua. Bet bana ilichomeka. Alafu kwanza beti ilichomekaga vibaya. Yani the team you didn't expect to lose lost. People lost their minds. So that's betting for one.
Yeah.
Second brand I can't take, drugs.
Yeah.
Drugs of very capacity. Pombe, sigara, bangi, vapes, zote siezi. Again, and I'll even tell you for a fact, I do use alcohol when cooking, like wine-braised short ribs or ingine ya pombe inaitwaje, beer butterfish. There's those recipes that do use alcohol, but that's not. Ni vile tumesema, condoms are great used in the right context, but what the message they're telling you to tell people is, you want to have consequence-free premarital sex. Here's a condom.
Yeah, there's an alternative.
Yeah. So for me, most because nimekataka my whole but they see mob ni tatu tu zimeni approach. And I was actually so proud because the last one I didn't even negotiate. I was just like, I thank you so much for thinking about me. However, Pombe. The message they'll tell me to do is, I enjoy this meal with a drink. I made this ugali to enjoy with my alcohol. It's never cook. I cook with that. I use the alcohol as a tool to cook.
No.
So nikajiambia, now since you'll make me blur the lines and they'll probably notice my grief because itafika tu point utasema, wewe kwani unapika tu na pombe huwezi kunywa? Then I'll have to like explain everything. Yeah. So I'll just be like, okay. To avoid all.
But why is that important, by the way, for people to say, I can work with these people, I can't work with these people?
I feel convictions are one of those things that I feel are heavily personal. So it depends on mimi juu nimeona hizi vitu zikiharibikia watu. So for someone else it could be probably they can't work with this. How will I put it?
Do you think their brands will probably not be authentic if they advertise something they didn't believe in?
That's the other thing. If you meet me in person, na nimekushinda nimekuuzia pombe, you'd probably, if you're a fan of mine, you'd probably be like, hey, Jerry, have a drink. Then I have to sit down and sasa tena kuweza kujiexplain. Ati sikunywangi pombe.
I don't drink.
Si nilikuwa na kwa advert hawa na hawa. Sikunywangi bro, lakini thanks maze. Alafu alcohol also give you like a lot brands that because I have friends who've worked with alcohol brands. Alcohol mimi siwezi maliza hiyo pombe. Sasa kushinda kwa
So you actually have to believe in what you're preaching, right? Yeah.
Sasa tu machupa zimejaa huko ndani ya nyumba tu. Even wondering, sasa do I give people, and no people in my circle don't even drink.
I hear you.
That even makes it worse.
I hear you.
You're just the weird with alcohol in his kitchen. People wondering, haya Jerry, kumbe unatumianga? But yes, so for me, it's the being an authentic brand.
Yeah.
You know, sharing your life experiences, being able to communicate what you believe in. So that even when people, you see now when someone talks to me about food, I light up automatically because I didn't become a food content creator because I saw successful food content creators. I genuinely enjoy food. So you invite me somewhere to eat, I'm like,
it's who you are.
Twende, hey.
Yeah.
And like sasa, tuseme, sorry, kaya kubet, hata utapata app ya kubet kwa simu yangu. Then now I'm here trying to tell people, download this app. Let's bet together. And hey, me freeze.
No, thank you for sharing
English.
that. And
English.
Really, thank you for sharing that. We're really enjoying this conversation. And, you know, even from you talking and me watching you and following you on social media, you've created quite a bit of influence. You're an influential person. And I'm sure you know that, right? You have a lot of people following you, doing what you're doing, even copying you also.
They're copying you now for the best.
Hiyo kwanza copying you. Copy kabisa. Yeah, you know, there's something I believe in. I believe in holistic branding, where there's influence, there's impact, but also there's income. So influence you have, no question about it.
Yeah.
When we talk about impact, is there one person or a group of people or something that happened and somebody came and said, you know, Jeremy, because of the content you create, because of what you do, this happened. And it's just a very transformative story that you can remember.
My favorite stories are when like male followers tell me wameanza kupikia watu wao.
Oh.
Those are the ones that melt me. Because you know that's how I met my wife.
Oh.
Naangaliaga tunasema haki ya radi. Kamau. Oh, God bless you. Because it's personal to me.
Yeah.
Even my wife, we make this joke all the time. My wife, when people are, hey, so mlipatanaje ni nini? Bro, I used to throw down for that woman. Oh yeah, I still do. And when people learn, I'm the one that cooks in the relationship for real. Like ile, si ati napikanga for internet.
Oh,
like,
yeah, for sure.
Hata nikichelewa hapa, watoto wangu wanauliza baba yao nafika sana.
Are you like for real?
Lakini niliacha nikitu nimepika, msimind. But yes, I actually do cook in the house a lot. And so that's one of my favorite
stories.
Yeah, when like, especially guys, because there's that cultural expectation for women to like be the ones that cook. But when it's a guy and he's like, hey, manze, by the way, bro, I tried your recipe, manze, my girl loved it. You go, this is the one.
I love that. I love to hear.
That's my favorite. Of course, there's others. Anytime anyone tries a recipe of mine, because you know, you can, and I think you've also in the content space, there's this thing called rage bait, right? Like I can try. What can I try that can make people upset? Kama kuweka kitunguu kwa ugali. Naweza weka kitunguu kwa ugali na go viral, but no one's trying that. You get my gist?
Yeah.
Like I can do something and people will go,
yeah.
Ini nini unafanya? But that's not really impact. That's just influence. That's virality. But for someone to like take the time to try, first to trust you.
Yeah.
Of course, I've worked on like being trusted. I've like done the work, But for them to trust your recipe and be like, okay, sawa.
In fact, I think this is the industry where trust is like a big deal.
If you make my food and you get food poisoning, people will never hear the last of it. so that one to trust someone and actually to share it back with me, because some people, you can even tell by the to saves and shares aka recipe watu kadhaa wamejaribu lakini vile wataki kuniambia, but yule mtu anajaribu, they take their time, they sit down, they document, they show you hata kama kamera yangu si mzuri kama yako, nimejaribu na ikatokea vizuri. It is the most.
What does that make you feel?
Hey, that is the warmest. Yani, it's like the closest thing to a virtual hug. It is so nice. That one, and especially that specific, because that specific one for guys cooking for their partners. Yeah. Since it's my story, I relate a lot with it. I'm like, hey man, that's
sweet.
That's gonna be a lucky woman, bro.
That's sweet. That's
that's it. Yo, watcha.
Yeah. Let's talk about the money. Influence, impact, income. So if somebody is watching and thinking, I don't have a 9-to-5 like Jeremy, but I'm a food content creator.
Yeah.
Majukumu ni mengi. Can they make money from the food content creation even without having their 9-to-5?
Yes, it is very possible, guys. What I'd say is, I feel like I don't think it's the first step, but it's one of the first steps, is starting to treat it like a business. If you want it to become a business that has put structure, like for example, I have a separate email exclusively for influencing. Small things like those, of course, you start with the free things. Kuna vitu zita cost pesa, but unaanza na vitu tu free kidogo. You start by opening, unakuwa na ka-email kanini. You start socializing with other creators, so that, because there's certain times nimepigiwa a job, naambiwa, Jere ni aje, I got your number from this and this influencer, aliambia unafanyanga content ya food. Of course, discovery, most of the time, 80% of leads for influencers is their page, especially if you're big or if you have a recently a viral video. So brand itangalia, they come across your content, they're like, wow, hey, this guy, hii format yake si mbaya, we can work with him. But also make friends, because I think with those friendships, now the discussions of also pricing come in. Because most people, of course, I can't come here and say, this is my rate card, I charge this much. I can't announce that. But if we are peers with someone, I can sit them down and tell them, this is how much I charge, this is why I think I'm worth this much. Now use that information to calibrate how much you'll charge. Such things are of course said in smaller private circles. And you can't get to those conversations without being friends with these people. Yeah. You can't just, because again, and they think even for you as an influential person, someone just bombards into your DMs. Hi Hannah, big fan of your podcast. Unashutianga wapi, nataka kuanza kushoot. Like, sister, relax.
Sure.
We're not friends.
Not yet.
Certain things,
yeah.
Like there's of course things we can tell the world. There's advice you can give everyone. You can even meet someone on the street, aya, niaje, fanya hivi na hivi na hivi. But there's certain things that are earned by friendship or peerhood, like ile mnaweza kaa chini, because I'm even comfortable telling you these things, because I'm sure, one, you won't weaponize it against me, of course, but I also trust you to take action because you're my friend, because you asked. So those are the two things. Pesa ya content pia vile nimwambia, it's very seasonal. So target to have those my season zako, utarget ukwe na campaign kadha. So at now, you see, like in January, if you're single, that single without children, you sasa watoto wanafungwa shule January, you can take that time to like go on vacation. It's low season. You can go take a week in Diani, Mombasa, whatever. Have clear your mind, strategize for the new year, vituka hizo, and then now get back into the groove. Sasa your February, sasa your time ya Valentine season, when I'm getting busy, getting stressed. But you get back into now seasonal work for the whole year.
I see.
And then plan hivyo sasa. You think about, but the core thing, core thing, started treating your nini like a business. Have those guardrails in place. If someone asks for a rate card, you have a rate card ready. If someone asks for, my season zako, utarget ukwe na campaign kadha. So at now, you see, like in January, if you're single, that single without children, you sasa watoto wanafungwa shule January, you can take that time to like go on vacation. It's low season. You can go take a week in Diani, Mombasa, whatever. Have clear your mind, strategize for the new year, vituka hizo, and then now get back into the groove. Sasa your February, sasa your time ya Valentine season, when I'm getting busy, getting stressed. But you get back into now seasonal work for the whole year. And then plan hivyo sasa. You think about, but the core thing, jifunze kutengeneza reports because that's not the unglamorized part of content creation.
Yeah.
Yo kukaa chini like man, me that's my least favorite part. Reports. Hey, can you make us a report to release? Niyo tu kurelease pesa ndio yani na kwenye utengeneze ka report unajiambia
I see.
Nikikosa haki nitakaa njaa.
Yeah.
Acha tu tutekeleze
because
report.
that's what they're gonna use now to pay
Because we've
you.
had so much fun creating content za huko lakini so because them they are a business. The people consulting you are a business.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't consult you if you wanted to lose money.
Yeah.
So you have to make sure as if you don't have a 9 to 5. And I think there's so many ways, so many tools. Kama mimi, I'm a big advocate for Canva. As a graphic designer, I know that sounds sacrilegious. But Canva is great because it makes good design accessible. You can log on to Canva right now, look for a nice template, make a report template. Look for a nice template, make your rate card. Look for a nice template, make your invoice. Small things like those, as opposed to telling someone, 2 reels and 1 static, 15,000. You send them on, unatumia ka text WhatsApp. How about 8 reels? And let me do the math, I'll get back to you. But if you have a rate card, it's polished. And someone can see a snapshot of what you've done. Like my rate card has the brands I've worked with. It has, of course, my prices. It has my numbers on socials. And so that gives you a snapshot without me. Now you come in then to ask me, Aya, are you on TikTok? Aya, niambie uko na followers wangapi TikTok? Are you? Aya. You
have it already.
That's very there. So standardize your processes. Even now before you get into Nini, even before you like start looking for brands to work with. And the other thing, in as much as I've been blessed nimetafutwa na brands, I don't think there's ever been like a brand nimekaa chini na nikasema sijui acha nipigie Omo, nataka kufanya kazi na Omo. Najisikia this season feels very Omo-ish for me. Let me write a proposal. Learn how to write proposal. For people who have dream brands. Mi sijakuwa mi yaki sikwangi serious. Lakini if you have a dream brand you want to work with, kaa chini, study them, write a proposal. You can also figure out like how you will charge them, how you present the opportunity for value. So you tell them, I charge this much for this number of reels, but for you guys,
this is what you're going to
you're gonna get this. Like present yourself in.
Yeah, that's important. That's actually very useful information. Thank you for sharing. Wow, are you enjoying this conversation? Because we're about to end it.
Guy.
I know.
What?
I know, it's so good. We've really gone.
Guys.
We're past an hour.
Guys.
I know.
1 hour too long.
Imagine. Now, finish this. Yeah, tell me. Yeah.
That podcast of mine reaching 30 minutes was uphill heavy. Yani nashanga. I think it's the experience tu sikuwa nayo. Because I was in my early 20s, what was I going to talk about?
No, I think as you grow, I don't know, but wow, thank you for sharing. That's important. Do you want to get back to it?
Podcasting?
Yeah.
I think the biggest hurdle with podcasting is staffing. Like, I need to look for a showrunner.
Having people.
Because that was our biggest
Yeah, you
challenge.
can't start shooting your things and you can do,
Tulijaribu shoot podcast na simu.
Yeah.
Washa shoot podcast na simu. Rojo ni simu, hatuna tripod, hatuna lighting. Simu ilikuwa inatoka hapo imechemka. And then no one can call you.
Of course.
Why are you calling? Mbona unapigia kamera? Why are you calling the camera, bala?
I love it.
So, for me, it really did inspire like creative process. Everything else that happened creatively with me.
Yeah.
But I think, maybe
when the bug bites again.
Ama time. Like now at least, sahi nakupika nimepata pesa to lighting, niko na lighting at least. Camera bado ni simu. That's my biggest problem. Because now, especially shooting long format, it's a challenge with simu.
Yeah.
Someone can call you anytime. Me, I have kids in the house. So I have to now look for a venue that's now rent I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
But other than that, I feel... Because I can talk, me, baby, about brands. Like I've started... everything, I think since I started with design first as one of my like first creative outlets, I feel like I've been learning about branding as I moved along, you know, like nearly grown up branding. Anything I want to do, I brand it well. I look for a nice logo. I figure out like text whatever's, what are they called? Matching text, nini. And so everything I've set out, even for Plate Shakers Club, I was so, the moment I knew that I was so excited, ilikuwa when I sat down and like started doing the logo, I just start visualizing, hey, guys will be wearing these things, and this will be how the brand looks like. So those things are what excite me.
Yeah.
So actually, I think if I was to start a podcast, inaweza kosa kwa ya food, kwa ya design. Because now with design, I have more experience. And there is a lot to say.
Yeah, there's a lot to say.
There's a lot to say. And especially now that in design, I've now experienced both sides. You know, initially, like a lot of younger designers, most of their, if you talk to them a lot, most of them were just upset at clients, like the whole time. Wanakuwa tu wamekasirikia client. Kila saa, nini mbaya? Mazeo client, Joe. Mazeo client. Hey, but me as someone who's also like worked with, briefed designers, basically. Like I've had designers in a team, and I'm the one briefing them. Now I can be aware and tell people, yenye hapa makosa si ya client, makosa ni yetu.
Ni yetu. Kuna vile.
You need to change how you're approaching this.
And I think that comes with experience.
Yeah, your grace, extending grace, even in life, extending grace. Because when you are young, you're like, odi nini amefanya? Si angefanya tu hivyo, mbona amefanya hivyo?
Yeah. No,
but then when you grow, you're like, okay.
Better understanding.
You have empathy. Now you're like,
yeah. Emotional intelligence.
Yes, you have EI now.
Yeah.
But when you're a kid, well, a kid used to wonder a lot, man.
Now, and you're a brand. But if you were to finish this sentence for me.
Yes.
Beyond the brand, I am.
Beyond the brand. Beyond the brand, I'm human. Beyond the brand, I'm human, which means I've gone to great labor, through great pains to polish what I present to people. And kakuna time, you know that outfit you leave the house in, you're like, I'm just going for errands. Sasa mi umeniona supermarket na nimevaa sweatpant na kashati ka promotion, unaanza kuamba watu sijui kuvaa. Like, beyond the brand, I'm a regular guy. Yeah. I never want to treat myself as celebrity. I never want to look at myself at maze, mi minister maze. Hana ibu mwambie kuja podcast yake 100,000. Na kabla na deposit ni 50. I never want to move like that. Kabla nifike, kabla niingie gigiri hivi.
I love it.
So, beyond the brand, I am not, I'm human.
Yeah.
What I present to you is, one, it is authentic, but it is produced parts of my life. Like, it's still real, but it's the highlights. See what sasa naishi fake life, guys. I really do enjoy cooking. Yeah. I enjoy cooking. Yeah. It's just that, more often than not, I'll never showcase when recipes fail. Yeah. I'll never go online and blast the Valentine's brand. I won't now niambie, never work with this brand again. They tortured me.
Last minute, no. Yeah, lovely.
But beyond the brand, I'm human.
I love it. Thank you for sharing. We usually end with a segment called 3 Sips of Truth. It's like your quick fire. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, good.
Sip number 1. So
Jeremy, sip number 1. Jeremy, what one Kenyan dish that defines your childhood?
Utotoni yenyewe ndikulani. I ate so many things. I think for me, the one Kenyan dish that defines my childhood is managu, kuku kienyeji na ugali. Ugali ya posho. that specific combination, ugali haizi kuwa ugali ya packet, kuku haizi kuwa broiler, na mboga haizi kuwa kitu si managu. My mom, and the reason is, akini kona story mob. Wow. Guys, I hope I'm interesting. Otherwise, people will sleep through this podcast. But the reason is, we were born in a family of 5 boys. No girls, 5 boys. Mom and dad. So it's 7 people at a table at any time.
Yeah.
And one of the things I congratulate my mother to date for doing is knowing how to divide one chicken, kienyeji, 5 hungry boys, na baba yetu, na yeye, na kuna mtu alitoka hapo kaja shiba.
Kila mtu atakula chicken.
Kila mtu atakula kuku na shibe. So that is, for me, that's like the one meal I look back and I'm like, wow. Enyewe mom, 5 hungry boys, kuku kienyeji moja.
Yeah.
That was...
These are the moments that made us. Thank you for sharing
magic.
that. That's powerful. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Another sip of truth. If your brand had a flavor, what would it taste like?
My favorite... This is going to sound so biased. But in the brand yangu, I like... One of my favorite flavors, and if any of you want to like know the one flavor that I would like, sitoi choka nayo, it's a flavor called peri peri. Peri peri is sweet, of course, but it's also spicy and it's tangy. Sweet, of course, if I've made peri peri wings on my nini, but inaekongwa skari, kitunguu, other spices nini, and then iko na hoho, pilipili, and then the tang comes from lemon juice. I feel like that's one of the most satisfying flavors you can ever have, because it's complex, but it's not pretentious. Sijui ka ushaonja caviar.
Caviar, yes. Yes.
Caviar is so pretentious. You eat it, you're like, rich people.
And it's so expensive.
Rich people, what is this now?
What is this they're enjoying?
Poverty has saved me from so much. Because what is this?
It's little tiny eggs.
So, caviar, vitu gani ingine ya matajiri. Kuna vitu kadhaa za matajiri I have so much beef with. But peri peri is going to be my flavor of the season.
I love it. Okay, the last one.
Last sip.
What's a dream collaboration that would make you do your happiest plate shaker yet?
My happiest collaboration.
Yeah.
Local, international.
Whatever.
Kokote. So there's a few, of course, as someone who picks from a lot of places. The first one, and I know this is going to be the most boring answer. Everyone wants to talk with Dennis Ombachi. Come on, let's be serious. Dennis Ombachi, come on hii podcast. Please, invite me to the balcony. Hata kaa kunanyesha, nitaleta mwavuli. Internationally, there's one of these guys called, you guys may or may not know him, his name is Ian Fujimoto. He's very interesting. And I really do enjoy his content. He's someone I'd love to work with. There's this other guy. He's called Jose Cook. He's also international. Locally, I've been blessed to be in the same rooms with a lot of local creators. I feel like those shida saa zingine inakuanga planning. For a lot of local creators, moving around and making content with each other is ni kazi. Sometimes it takes, and especially if it's someone you look up to, sometimes it can feel a bit pretentious if you don't have that rapport. That's why probably you've not seen me do a lot of like local collaborations, because it's either someone I really look up to and I'm like, hey, hata wewe Ombachi akiniambia, okay Jeremy, you can come. Kai, takuwa tu ndashinda tu hapo starstruck. Wow, it's you. I'll be that annoying person. Wow, Ombachi. Oh my God. But yes, so those will be the guys I'd love to work with. Love it.
Thank you for sharing. We have finished. We've come to the end of this conversation.
Hey,
did you enjoy it?
Time flies when you're having fun. I didn't even notice it's 1 hour 23.
Yeah. What do you want to say as we finish?
Hey, as we finish, guys, don't be afraid to experiment. Plate shaking came out of a mistake from someone who was sick. And somehow it has become a brand, and people actually stop me to tell me when you have asked me when the next event is or when you are shaking plates. So don't be afraid to experiment. Don't be afraid to look into new ways to improve. If you've already started working on a brand, don't be afraid to expand. Don't be afraid to think of new ways to present your brand. But in all that, also don't experiment so much, lose your authenticity. So there's that balance of experiment, but experiment within the bounds of your authenticity. And you'll actually learn or realize that your authenticity is very vast. There's so many things you can do. When I started doing food content, I had no idea that I'd end up on a podcast talking about food content. You see, it's still authentic, but I mean, even stretch, this is my first podcast. And thank you so much, guys, for watching the show.
And look at you. This has been Beyond the Brand, Moments That Made Us with me, Hannah G. And thank you for watching. For now, bye-bye. Until next time.